What's up, everybody? This your boy Vision coming to y'all live right now. Listen, the Florida Gators, Billy Napier, is about to be gone this weekend. And I know a lot of Florida Gator fans are excited about this. I know I am. I know a lot of members in the Florida member community are happy about this. This was a guy that was very promising beginning of the year back when he was hired in 2022. It has been going downhill for the Gators since he was head coach. You know what I'm saying? Like 2022, when you're the head coach, you did make a bowl game. You went 6-7, but you're 3-5 versus the SEC in 2022. The next year in 2023, you're 5-7, right? The next year you're 8-5, which is a bowl game, and every game that DJ Latway played, you guys won. This season so far, you're 2-4. That's not acceptable if you the University of Florida. I mean, you have a 21-23 overall record. You are 11-16 in the SEC so far in mid-October this year. That's not acceptable for the Gator Club boosters, man. You know, Florida was very looking forward to you, actually elevating the program. And you're turning the program over down the hill, you know. So let me read this article about WRUF website, ESPN. This is a Florida Gator website that follows the Florida Gator program. Uh, Florida's expectation coming into the 2025 season were at an all-time high. It carried momentum over from the end of the last season, finishing 8-5 with a bold win. This season's team was supposed to be the best Napier's fielded during his 4 years. Nah, that ain't the case though. With multiple starters on both sides of the ball returning, including quarterback DJ Ladway, the same guy I was telling y'all that saved this dude's career. DJ Ladway saved this coach's career, man. Many media outlets choose the Gators as a dark horse to win the SEC and contend for the college football playoff. I have no idea why they felt that way. I didn't believe that at all. I knew that Billy Napier was a fraud because I know how hard it is to win at the University of Florida. You are gonna have to compete in the state of Florida over most of those Florida schools, and you're gonna have to be the best school in Florida to compete in the SEC. So therefore, if you're not even the best school in the state of Florida, how in the world you think you're gonna compete in the SEC? You have to be able to be the best team in your state first. They're not even better than Miami, so you know they're not going to compete in the SEC. And are they even better than Florida State? They haven't been recently, besides last year. I mean, that's it. But this year, man, Florida State, I can see Florida State beating them this year. And Mississippi State is going to go to Gainesville and probably upset them this year in their homecoming. And that's just how I feel, bro, because I'm tired of this, man. These Florida Gator fans deserve a better coach than this, bro. And I'm not even a huge Florida fan. I like Florida, you know what I'm saying? But I'm a huge Mississippi State fan. And I know we're going to come in there and blow some smoke up when we get down there Saturday, right? So let's continue, right? For the first time since Napier took the job in 2022, the fan base and boosters supported him at first. But with their backing came massive expectations. He needed to deliver on his off-season promises because if you promise somebody something, you have to deliver. That's just how it is, period, right? And restore Florida to its early 2000 status as a college football powerhouse. That's not going to happen with that coach. We absolutely have aspirations to be a playoff team. That's the intention of coming here to win championships. Napier said during the SEC Media Days in July. It's not about yesterday or tomorrow. It's about today. A good today leads to a good week, right? Leads to a good month, right? Then it leads to a good season. And you look up and count them up at the end of the year. Well, I don't think Napier is actually doing what he said he's gonna do, bro. If you go by those type of goals and take it one day at a time, you should not have all this talent and lose this many games, Napier. But times have changed. Halfway through the season, Florida is 4-1, which is 1-2 in the SEC, and has watched a campaign that burned bright with optimism fade away like a dying star. The Gators' chance of competing in the SEC or for the playoffs have gone out the window, and its change of even a bowl game continues to fall. Napier, who is the fourth year at University of Florida, carries a 21-23 record following a 34-17 loss to number 5 Texas A&M on Saturday. His club is the worst by any UF coach since Tom Lee, who went 20-25 during World War II. The lack of on the field success has turned Napier's seat from hot to scorching, with me believing that his time as Florida's coach has run its course. That is sad, bro. They just compare him to Tom Lee that went 20-25 since World War II. They're comparing Billy Napier that long ago. They're saying this is the worst coach that they had since Tom Lee, bro. That's sad, bro. That is embarrassing. And mind you, this guy went like 12-1 at University of Louisiana Raging Cajuns. He went 12-1 there. But that's the Sun Belt. See, one thing about Florida, man, I think they made a big mistake. And I said this. I have homeboys that can vouch for me that I said I don't think that was good hire. There was coaches available. You know what I'm saying? Dave O'Randler was available at Baylor. Dan Lanning was available at the time. There were multiple coaches that was available. Hell. But why did we go after this guy? Because of something that he did at the Sun Belt Conference? Brother, that doesn't correlate necessarily to the SEC. He has zero experience in the SEC as a head coach. Yeah, he was under Nick Saban as a wide receiver coach for the Tide. But brother, you're coaching dominating wide receivers that was going to the NFL anyway. You know what I'm saying? I understand you coach some good wide receivers, man. I understand you coach you coach Julio and the boys, man. They was going to the NFL anyway without you, brother. So again, after a disastrous start last season with a blowout home loss to Miami and Texas A&M, reports circulated that boosters had pulled together the money necessary to buy out the remainder of Napier's contract. But Florida Athletic Director Scott Strickland defended Napier and bargained with boosters to push the money towards NIL on the condition Napier gave up play calling abilities. So this man had the support from the athletic director, y'all. The athletic director was standing and vouched for Billy Napier. Let's use the money towards the NIL deal. Let's pay the future stars on our team instead of trying to buy out Napier. But this might not be the guy for you, Scott Strickland. You gotta have a good hire, man. And if I'm Dan Mullen, bro, I'm pissed off. Dan Mullen was actually decent at Florida, and they really, really, really quit on him too quick. If I'm not mistaken, I think Dan Mullen had a 10-win season in Florida, and then next year was like pretty bad. I think they won 5 games, but bro, that's 1 year. This dude, Billy Napier, every year besides last year was horrible for the Gators. You know what I'm saying? He's never going to be that guy to help Florida win 9 to 10 games. Never. He's not that kind of coach. So, Scott Strickland, I appreciate you trying to defend Napier, but brother, he got to be a grown man. Let him go. You got to let him go. The boosters don't want it there. The fans don't want it there. Nobody wants them there, bro. Get them up out of the Florida Gators. Get them out of Gainesville, bro. So, but after the Gators found a second life on offense to close out the year, Napier maintained his offensive duties for this year, which has been nothing short of a failure. Florida sinks 98. I repeat, 98 in total offense, 122nd in scoring in scoring offense, 74th in passing, and 113 in rushing. Despite the lack of success, Napier refuses to hand over the play sheet, and as a result, Florida also sits at 15 in the SEC. This is stubbornness, bro. You can't be this stubborn. You're out there getting your butt beat, getting your butt torn up, and you don't want to give up the play calling? Come on, Billy. That's why you son about Billy, bro. Get him up out of here. On Wednesday, it was reported by USA Today Matt Hayes that those same boosters from a year ago are back and met with Strickland again to put financial pressure on him to make a move. The decision could loom as soon as this weekend following Florida's Week 8 matchup with Florida State. And it's their homecoming, by the way. So you know them guys are coming in town to see what Florida's going to do. If Florida loses this game, Billy Napier's out. If they win this game, hey, he might still be in, man. What I'm thinking, y'all, that Florida can't lose another game this year. If Florida lose one more game, I think that Billy Napier is out. Now, if they win it out the rest of the year, I think that he stays, bro. That's just me. I think he probably stayed because Florida, he got the athletic directors, behind his back. So we'll see. Me, if I'm a Florida fan, I don't know, man. Listen, one part of me would say get rid of him get a better coach, and then the other part be like, okay, let them finish the season. Maybe this will spark some momentum. I don't know, right? But we saw Penn State fire James Franklin after 12 seasons with the Nittany Lions, right? He went 104 and 45, right? That's amazing. Similar to Florida, Penn State had a national title aspirations, but a 3-3 start provoked no coach is safe from a chopping block. Okay, so if James Franklin get fired after going 3-3 and actually won the Big Ten before, that means Billy Napier not safe either, right? It's what we sign up for. They pay us, they compensate us well. So these are challenging jobs in today's climate in particular. We understand we live in a production world and you got to produce, Napier said. I have no issue with that. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Listen, Billy Napier, he sounds like he got a good mouthpiece on. He know how to talk the talk, but he can't walk the walk. First of all, I still wonder why he not giving up the play calling. It's obviously that Florida offense is terrible. Their defense is what's saving the Gators so far, and they have a defensive coordinator. That's the problem. Get him an offensive coordinator, bro. Why is he so stubborn to have an offensive coordinator on the Florida Gators? I do not understand. I don't understand it at all. But he's just gonna be hard headed and watch Florida get whooped. Throughout this season, Napier has said that the team is close to breaking through and feels Florida is a mere plays away from having a completely different record. But resting at 0-14 against ranked opponents on the road and 3-10 against rivals, the Gators have only produced disappointment. Like I said, he talked the talk, but he don't walk the walk. You could say all day long that you one play away from winning, that you're so close from doing your goals. But if you don't actually prove that to this Florida franchise, to this Florida fan base, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Billy Napier, right? Napier said Monday that he and Strickland converse every week to go over strategy, the prior weekend's results, and what the program needs to do to improve. We know it's not good enough. No one loves to lose. I think we identify areas we can improve and things we need to do better, Napier said. It's much like a production business. There's things there you got to do better to get better results. Napier made a promise to bring Florida back to his championship ways. I think that was funny. When he was first got inducted as a Gators coach, right? New coach back in 2021 after 2021 season. But the longer Florida allows him to roam the sidelines of Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, the louder the growls of the fan base will grow. Regardless of the outcome Saturday, Napier's time as the Florida Gators coach appears to be coming to an end. And if it's true, the outcome will close the chapter on another disappointing era of Florida athletics, especially the football program, riddled by untamed expectations and unfulfilled promises. So that's something that coaches like to do sometimes, man. They promise things, they like to make promises that they can't keep. He doesn't have the potential to win national championship at Florida at this point. He doesn't even have a potential. It looks like Florida might not even make a bowl game this year. If Florida wins Saturday, they're close to a bowl game, but they're not going to win a national title. Once they lost to South Florida this year, I knew it was pretty much over for their season. Their season is over. I mean, you can't do that, bro, and you cannot lose to Miami 2 years in a row, right? You can't do it. You got to let him go. He has got to be let go, bro. Now, the problem is if you let Billy Napier go, who do you have to replace Billy Napier? I'm thinking it has to be a head coach somewhere. It cannot be a coordinator. It cannot be someone from these small conferences because they have experience from that. Billy Napier was very successful in the Sun Belt Conference. We thought that he was going to, lift up the program, but he didn't. He put down the program. Now, who could it be? You know what I'm saying? Like, who could it be? We know it's not going to be Kurt Sagani. We know it's not going to be James Franklin because all those guys have signed somewhere. Where could it be? Now, I'm hearing several names. I heard Nick Saban. Um, I heard Lane Kiffin, right? I heard Lincoln Riley. I heard several names, but it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell on who's the University of Florida is going to hire as the head coach because this is a top-notch program. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the best programs in college football. When you talk about athletics in all the sports combined, Florida is one of the most diverse sports programs in the nation. They're good in basketball, football, baseball, volleyball, track. It's a very top-notch organization. Whoever this coach is going to be, it would not be easy to turn this program around. And I feel for him because he's going to have a lot of pressure, a lot of eyes too. Billy Napier, I mean, he came in with a lot of hopes and dreams, but he couldn't fulfill them. He underachieved at Florida. There was a lot of games that he should have won. We understand losing to Georgia some years. We understand um, losing to probably Alabama or LSU. But when you losing to South Florida, when you have losses like that, that turns the head right there and be like, man, why is this dude here? You know. So let me know what you guys think about the University of Florida, y'all. I know that it's hard being a coach. It is, but there's certain things that you gotta do, man. You gotta make sacrifices as a coach. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Peace.